Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's July the 2nd. This will be our chart lesson for today. And just a reminder that tomorrow's a abbreviated trading day, and then Thursday's holiday. And I believe the market is open regular times on Friday, but I'm going to go ahead and take the whole rest of the week off. So we don't do chart lessons on Fridays anymore anyway. So this will be the last chart lesson for the week. I hope everybody has a great 4th of July holiday and enjoy the time off. So, kind of a quiet day today. There was a little bit of movement, though, a lot more movement than I expected early on. We had a nice little move up here, and then we had a nice move back down, and then, of course, another move back up. It's just a range day. We had a little failed breakout up here, a failed breakout down here as well, and there's actually a possible trade right here that I didn't mark. I'll go ahead and mark it green so I don't forget to talk about it. But there's a couple others in here you might argue for, but I pretty much marked the ones that were. I mean, really, when you got a range, there's a two-tiered channel working up here as well, and you can see it looks the midline's clearly in play, the trend line's clearly in play. But in the end, the range took precedence. So, I mean, this is definitely more sideways than I would call this trend. But you had to watch this early on. I'm gonna leave it on there, and just so we can kind of see how we were playing as the morning got started. But we had a failed breakout up here and a failed breakout down here. And so you can tell this range is pretty much what it was. There's not a lot of trades today, not a lot of volume today, really. But this turned out to be a pretty good move down. And this was a pretty good move up. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to get in if you didn't get in it early, because you don't want to enter off the top of this trend channel. Even though it continues to go higher, you just can't risk entering like that. And, it's just not a good place to enter. You just kind of have to sit there and watch it, unfortunately. But anyway, let's back out, talk about the trades, and it's not going to take long because there's not many. And we'll wrap up the week, and we'll be back again next week on Monday to start over again. But first trade, actually 7 o'clock came, I believe, right after this bar. So right in here somewhere while we're moving up is your 7 o'clock hour. And you could look at this as a double bottom. So this looks like a first entry, second entry, a failed second entry short, right off the trend line. I made this green. We did make a little higher high here than this high. We made a higher low. So we are still kind of making higher highs and higher lows, but there's some resistance across there, and you got to be careful going long into that, especially, this early when we just had this big move down, because we may get another leg down like that. And really, when you started down here, you had to assume that, hey, we may be going to get another leg down like this one. But you also had to assume we may get another leg up like this one, which I don't have on there. But you measure that and start from here. And you can see that's pretty much what we got. A measured move up, and then the market turned down again. So, but anyway, there's a failed second entry short there. I'm not crazy about it. Market pushes up. We finally get a break, and we push up to a new high, and it looks like we're gonna maybe turn back down. But you had to be concerned about this trend line right here. There's actually a second entry long on a break right here, and it does look like it confirms that trend line. But that signal bar is not very good. You could use this for a signal bar if you wanted. But you don't break above it, then you get another inside bar, and so there's starting to be some congestion right there. So it's just, and you're going long right into that EMA, and you may be going to get a measured leg down like this from here if this trend line, if this trend line doesn't hold. So there's just a lot of ifs right there that are just hard to know exactly what prices are doing. You can see this trend line is really still in play, but we do run up and get a new high, and then it looks like we're going to go lower. There's actually a failed second entry long here, but you don't have much room back to this trend line, and you don't have much room back to these lows here. So when it turns down and bounces right there, I like going long one tick above that bar. That's basically a double bottom, a higher double bottom than this low, and you pretty much confirm that trend line once again. You might even wait for this bar, but this one's good enough. That's a very bullish bar. It's just like one tick off its top, and yours could have closed on its top, on its high or whatever. So um, if I waited on this one, I'd probably let it break higher and then drop my limit order back where this one would go. But you could really go long above either one of those, and then of course it runs up, and we end up making another double top, and it comes back and makes a lower high. This is actually slightly higher than this, and this is a higher low. So at this point, it doesn't look, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. You can see that. And you really don't have a lot of evidence that's here. You've got a little room there to get out too. So you may still go long right there. But after that one, as much as it would have been nice to go long right here, you just can't get in that one. You don't want to go long now that you got three matching highs across there. And of course it takes off. And you would expect prices to possibly go higher here because of this trend line. And also we're making higher lows each time. Even though we're not making higher highs really yet, we're still making higher lows, and generally that's a sign that we're going to break out. And there is a little bit, notice there's a double top here, so that's a new high, first entry, and then you pull back and there's a lower high. So that's technically a second entry. So but it's an inside bar. This is a very neutral type bar. It's not real bullish, it's not real bearish either. It's just kind of neutral. So I don't think would be interested in taking that trade. It's, you hate that you miss that, and it's real tempting to go short up here, but I'd wait on the lower high. And the only reason I marked this one green, because they're still a long way away from the EMA, and it actually went higher first and then turned down. The only reason I marked this green is it's a little bit questionable going short right into that midline right there, and you can see that midline's in play all the way up, and everything's fitting nicely on this two-tiered channel. So I'm a little leery of going short right into that midline. There's still plenty of room back to the EMA, but still you're a long way away from the EMA, and you're actually going to go short right here, and with plenty of room. So you may take that one. Plus, you got to assume that, hey, this could be a failed break out of the range if the range takes precedence, which the range does end up taking precedence. So this would have turned out to be a nice trade right here. And then we just kind of work sideways. Notice that you try to go higher once, twice, and each time we're turning down this trend line. And then finally, you make one more attempt, and you're making lower highs there every time, and that's a nice bearish bar right off that trend line. You got a double bottom right here, so you could treat that like a new low, first entry, second entry short as well. I like that one. You're at this point, you're looking for prices to come back to here, and if this is a range, prices are probably coming all the way back down to here. And you actually move down and pull back one more time and get another big bearish bar right off the key entry point, right off the EMA. You got you got the first leg. There's actually two legs here. Leg one and then leg two. So that's a measured move down basically, where it fails right there. And I like that one just because it's such a bearish bar right off the key entry point. And you don't know, you're only looking for it to come down and down into right here, but this thing just keeps falling. There's actually another little tick up higher and turns back down here, but it's a little dangerous being that far away from it. It is off this shorter term key entry point, and it could be that this is two-tiered. It turns out that it's not. It's just a big overshoot really, but that's a possibility right there. You could argue for that one to be green. It's just been away from the EMA for a while. It's not ideal, but if you're wanting to be a little aggressive, it may not be a bad place to enter. Another thing you got to consider is you had this resistance, or I'm sorry, this support right across here, and you're kind of bouncing, or you're actually kind of going short right into that. So that's just all the more reason to skip that trade. And then of course you move up, you get a first entry, and you move up, you get a second entry right off that trend line again, but you had this big overshoot, and a lot of times that's going to lead to a break soon thereafter, which it does, but this trade still would have worked before you got your break. And you actually get a second entry short right here, after we've tested that multiple times. But again, the signal bar is not very good, and even if you waited on this one and let it break lower and then drop, it's still not a very good signal bar. And of course, it does drop down relatively hard again, but then you got to go short right into this. So even though that works, and again, it's not a great idea, but now you've got your break and a new low, and you're way away from the EMA, and notice you get a higher low right here with a nice bullish bar, and you got a little room back to the EMA and the trend line, but we've already had that break, so we could be getting a reversal here. Normally I'd tell you to wait on the true reversal, which comes here, but this is still a little ways away from the EMA. So if you could get in here with enough room to get out, this may be worth trying to catch the low of the day, because that's what a lot of times you catch a very important low or the low of the day, and you get a big move from there. And so I tend to like these trades, but this one's a little bit, I'm still going to mark this one green. It's still a little aggressive. But now you push through, pull back, you confirm that trend line, you get a nice bullish bar, you got a failed second entry long after 2 measured legs up. That's where you want to go long and look at it go. And you would have caught a runner on this one. And look at it go. Boom. You could ride this all the way up, really. I'd probably exit right in here when it makes this break, but you could stay with this. And if you did, you could ride it all the way up. But you just didn't really get another chance to enter on this up here because you got to go long right into that trend channel line, and that's never a good idea. Although you probably could argue that there's a midline here, and we are bouncing off that midline a couple of times here. But I just think it's too risky. You've been away from the EMA a while. It's just not a good place to enter. So I don't see anything else I like there. This is a possibility. You're moving down. You tried to make that lower. You get the close outside. You try to make the lower low, but it just turns down and turns back up and goes out the other side. That being right at 2 o'clock, you could argue for that one. And you would expect prices to try to get to this high here. So that's one that, if you were trading this afternoon and still hanging around, that's one you may take as well. So it's close enough. It's just barely after 2 o'clock. So I'd be okay taking that trade. But anyway, that's what I saw today. And it's just kind of a, it's just a, let me back out just a little more so you can see it. It's just a range day, and you can see that. And once this was obvious, this wasn't any play any longer, I'd probably take it off. And then now it's real clear. It's a range day, and you can see that. And 99% of the price action was inside the overnight highs and lows. We did have a failed break out the high side and a failed break out the low side. And we actually pushed on through later here in the afternoons. This was a relatively nice rally here. I guess people were a little scared to go into the holiday short, so most of them were probably exiting all the shorts that we probably got over the last couple of days. You can see there's your measured move, and we got really close to that. So we actually passed that, surpassed that, so that would have been a good target. But anyway, that's what I saw today, so I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I'm going to start my July 4th holiday a little early. I'm going to get out of here. Actually, I say a little early. It's almost 5 o'clock here, but I'm going to wrap it up and try to get out of here by 5 o'clock. And I'm not coming back till Monday. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great holiday. Hope you had a great trading day. And even though it was a very short week, we had a couple of decent trading days here. Not a lot going on today, but yesterday was actually not too bad a day. We had this nice downtrend yesterday. So Monday was a little quiet. Or actually yesterday was Monday, wasn't it? Yeah. So I guess it was Friday that was a little quiet. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it on Monday. I'm done for the week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.